There were three things that broke me this week. And Judy, I'm going to let you decide which we talk about. Okay.
Okay.
So one is regarding real estate. One is regarding parenting. One is regarding my job.
Ooh, well, I love a Workplace Chronicles with Ryan. So let's start with that first.
Here we take it to the Workplace Chronicles. All right. So we already know that it's not the easiest thing to keep people in the office, right?
Right.
But I don't know if I told you guys, we lost a trainee a couple weeks ago. So we've been down that person we were supposed to get.
Mm-hmm.
He decided to quit because while training, he needed to turn it into a remote job, even though no one gets to work remote. And then also, how are you going to train remotely?
Yeah.
So
I still need to know where y'all find these people.
I'm telling you,
There's one that just takes vacations.
It is just a cardboard sign on the side of a road that says, "We'll hire anyone." Pulse, come on in.
You know what? I'm going to look up like an Indeed posting for your job and I'm going to see what it says.
I'll find it for you. I've seen them on there. I'll find it.
Okay.
After this week, I've been looking, let me tell you.
Okay.
So we lost him, and then last week, two people were out all week. One because she/her baby had COVID, right? Another one because her kids were sick, and then by the time that they weren't sick, she was now sick, right? So like these are reasonable reasons for them to be missing. I'm not actually upset for people that miss, but because of that, on top of other people missing other days, normally, we're running at like a third of our staff essentially. And the phone calls don't stop coming in. And those phone calls are full of mean people that are upset because their bill went up. Like everyone is upset. Guess what, people? My bill went up. Alex at the Insurance Emporium, she's costing me an extra $50 a month now. Okay? It's all of us. It's not just you. Why do you have to call me and keep me on hostage on the phone for 20 minutes and tell me about how everything is not your fault and you're on a fixed income and you can't do anything about it and this and that? Like, I can do anything. I can't. Yeah. You know what I can do? I can make sure your discounts are still there. I can make sure nothing's out of whack. But if it is just because there's a rate increase, sorry. Right. I had one lady, I swear to God, she kept me as a hostage on the phone, like I said, for 20 minutes. During this time, she complained about how she gets a discount that her husband doesn't get. So why is her car only $2 less over 6 months than his car? Even though it's completely separated by type of vehicle, person driving it, all this stuff, right? Then she proceeded to tell me how even though her policy started in 2008, that's not early enough. She's been with the company since the early 90s, so there must have been a mistake. She told me about that. I'm not kidding when I say this. No less than 8 times. Okay? Then she proceeded to talk about how she once wanted to file a claim and my boss decided, or didn't decide, but convinced her to not file the claim, right?
Okay.
And she was upset about that because if her rate was going to go up anyway, why shouldn't she just have filed the claim? Even though this was from years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And then also proceeded to tell me how she felt like my boss was threatening her because if she did make the claim, he would ensure that she would get canceled. And I honestly, I couldn't I couldn't stop myself because by the time she said that, we're good 18 minutes in. Okay.
Right.
So I couldn't help myself but just say, well, I'm sorry that you felt that way. Because we all know what that means. That's a polite way of saying, go fuck yourself. I don't care about your feelings.
Yeah.
And she even said that too. She's like, well, that's not a real apology. I was like, well, what'd you expect? You're telling me that my boss threatened you. And as I know who he is, I somewhat know who he is as a person, I just don't think that he would do that. Right. Meanwhile, I didn't say this part, I should have. Meanwhile, you kept me on the phone for 20 straight minutes complaining about the same things over and over and over. I wonder who has more credibility with me. But then again, I didn't have this conversation with her before today. And if I had, it would have been a closer race. Because after a full week of that, and then a following week of more people missing for those same people missing, but for other reasons now.
Yeah.
He comes to us today and he's like, hey guys, two things. One, I want to let you know that like, I'm taking everything seriously and I appreciate you all. It may not seem like it, but I do. And we're going through a hard time right now, but you know, it's going to be fine. And we're trying to hire people. You know, I keep celebrating with so-and-so, one of the managers, about how we're going to be staffed up soon. And then things keep happening. And I just want you all to know that after all this, when everything's settled, like at some point as a thank you, I'm going to take you guys out to dinner. Blow me with your dinner, okay? You know what I want? I want for you to hire, even if they're fucking retarded. And I don't mean that in a derogatory way, and it's not a good word, and I'm sorry. But even if they can barely make 2 and 2 into 4, just hire 18 people until we have enough overall that when 4 people call out, it's not demonstratively terrible for the rest of the staff.
Right.
Okay? I don't give a shit about the 50 or 100 or even $150 that you're going to spend on me on this dinner. Because at the end of the day, all I'm going to do is I'm going to have to spend more time with you.
Right.
And then I'm going to have to go back to work the next day and it's going to be the same shit.
Yeah.
I wish that was all that happened at work today. Because then this insurance emporium boss man, do you want to know how he thinks that we should deal with customers that upset us?
Ooh, how?
Do you think it's that we should be able to be like, you know what? We don't care about your business. Thank you very much, though. Have a good day. Do you think it's you can say go fuck yourself, but at the risk of your job? Do you think it's anything other than this man bought a punching bag for the office?
No, he didn't.
He did. He came over to my desk today after he had spent, I don't know, 2 hours all together putting this. It's one of the ones where it's got like a water stand for it to keep it heavy and it springs back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
After this man spent 2 hours putting that together, I've put those together. It takes 20 minutes. He had to go to Home Depot to put this thing together.
Shouldn't he be working?
Thank you, Judy. I am so grateful that you, within 2 minutes of hearing this story, understood why I was pissed off about what he was doing. For anyone who wants to just say, Ryan just likes to complain about his job, yeah, I do. But you know what? and this is something that I live by, attitude reflects leadership. Okay?
Yeah.
If my boss was in there at 9 a.m. and there until, you know what? Forget staying late. If he was there until even 4, I leave at 5:30. So if he was there until 4, you understand, I wouldn't care about any of the other stuff, because as much as I'm suffering, I know for a fact he's suffering too. And I'm not saying that he's not. Who knows? Maybe he's answering all these emails and all these calls on his personal line and everything. But I don't see it. So to me, it doesn't exist. I'm sorry, you don't get the benefit of the doubt with me.
Mm-hmm.
So this man who spent 2 hours putting together a Suzanne Summers Lifetime Fitness punching bag then comes over to my desk
Oh, God.
and is like, hey, do you ever plan on hitting that thing? No, I don't. You want to know why? Judy, would you like to know why?
Yes. Why?
Because if I'm angry enough that I want to hit something, I also want to yell and pound the shit out of it. And I don't really think that's an appropriate thing for the workplace.
No.
You know what I would like? If there was someone who like was holding me hostage, if you just said, oh, you know what? Anytime that something like that happens, I want you to just tell them, sir, ma'am, I don't want to lose your business, but at the same time, it's obvious that you need something. Let me send you to I gotta bleep that out. Let me send you I was doing so good too. Let me send you to the boss man. I gotta do this to make sure. In case you're wondering why I'm doing the wacky dance on @takeabreathpod on YouTube, it's so I can know where to do the edit.
Okay. Good job.
But that's honestly, you want to fix it, that's how you fix it. You give us, the ones who are getting our heads pounded in and day out, an outlet so that when that happens, we don't have to just sit there and take it.
Yeah.
But this man comes over to my desk and he asks me that, and I say no. He's like, well, just so you know, I mean, I hit it a little earlier. And it's kind of fun. I mean, don't get me wrong. And this is where he tries to get serious because he knows, maybe he doesn't realize it, but he just invited a workman's comp injury into this building so quickly, right?
Yeah.
We work in insurance, you dope. How could you not put 2 and 2 together? Well, he comes, he's like, so just, I hit it. It's kind of fun. Like, no one should be like going as hard as they can on it. But you know, you get a customer who's kind of mean, and you get all amped up. It's a good way to let some frustration out. Ha ha.
Okay.
and then he decided that it was a good idea to show me how to punch.
Oh. Wow.
Because this is the kind of punching bag that if you hit it wrong, it'll mess your hand up because it's on a spring, and it's, you know what it's designed for? It's designed for like cardio kickboxing classes where people have gloves on, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the kind of punching bag this is. And so if you hit it wrong, you're going to hit this big metal pipe in the center of it and mess your hand up. So he's like, you got to kind of hit it on the side instead of straight on. You got to make sure your wrist is straight as you hit. And don't get me wrong. Nothing he was saying was incorrect.
Right.
But why the hell am I taking boxing tips from a man that all I have known about him is that he has sold insurance, he has been a fireman, he has sold timeshares, and he has sold cars. I don't remember, Judy, please, because I smoke a lot of weed. So please remind me, was there an extensive fighting background in there?
No, there was not.
No, there wasn't. So why, boss man, are you giving me fighting tips in the middle of the workday at the insurance emporium?